This is Marius Nordal. This is part 2 of exploring rhythm in pentatonic scales. Today we'll talk a little bit about acquiring rhythms. You have no rhythm? Well, we'll manufacture some rhythms for you. Also, a couple of introductory remarks on interval containers. Yes, interval containers, to be taken up in a later video. First, just an explanation of what an interval container would be. It's a situation where you put your hand on any two notes that are not next door to one another. That's the container, that's the box, that's the enclosure. Now, you can stick one more note in between. Or it could be this, or all the missing notes, at least dealing with the pentatonic scale. Here's another one here. I pick this container that's not quite an octave, nearly an octave, E flat to D flat. I would pick these two notes out, for instance, or just one note, A flat. So you can come up with a lot of little 3-note or 4-note ideas. That sort of thing. So we'll be dealing with arithmetic today and coming up with sort of jivey kind of bebop rhythms. And once you get these little innocuous bits of flotsam and jetsam that seem not worthy of your consideration, you find they're like little found objects. If they are brought to life with little rhythmic tricks, then they do have some significance. And the point is, you're not thinking of these ideas. We're manufacturing certain patterns which will come from the rhythm. So the message does not come from the notes. It comes from the rhythm. Rhythm is the message, because you have nothing interesting to work with here in the pentatonic scale. We've combed out 7 out of 12 notes, and we got 5 left. And the point is, this will make a loop. The hands will make a loop to your brain. And then your brain spit ideas out. Ideas don't all come from the brain. They come from what's available to your hand. And a lot of the stuff seems not worthy of the hand, so people ignore it, and they just sit here year after year doing 2 or 3 notes, never moving and never changing over many years of playing. Okay, so first of all, let's just start with this little interval container right here, 3 notes. Okay, we'll do a pattern of 3, and to put that in perspective, we've all heard this 12th Street rag with that lopsided rhythm. We'll do the same thing here. That sort of idea. Okay, so we have 3 notes. That's my little interval container. I'll do some of those. I'm going to expand the container to something slightly different. Always retain the bottom note for our little example here. Move these up to the next 2 notes. And move it up to the next 2 notes. So we have 3 little containers I'm working with. They're expanding. Okay. And let's just go up to a full interval container. I'll go up here. Okay, I've just left here up to thumb and A flat. Let's do all 5 notes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'll just stay here for quite a while. You get this sort of lopsided 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of rhythm. Okay, you can do other things like this. Do all 4 notes of a container, then do 3, and then do 2, and do 1. Except the last note sounds boring, so I would put it up an octave. That idea. So you start traveling around. Okay, let's try that out now. So we're going to do the first container, which is basically 2 or 3 containers, and then this guy up here, and then the same container, A flat to G flat. Again. And so forth. You find yourself kind of traveling around and the rhythm starts to generate your pitches. So, okay, if that gets kind of boring doing the anatomy lesson, now we have a little payoff. If you want to, take any of these containers or wherever you're doing, whatever 3-note unit, and stick it down 1/2 step. Or up 1/2 step. See, so you get this, instead of this business, you might get... It sounds like you're doing something harmonically sophisticated, but you're not. The next issue, since we're dealing with limited notes, but we're getting some sort of nice traveling kinds of rhythms here, is to change the timbre. This is all the middle of the piano, and I may go out of camera range here, but timbre is defined as the color of sound. So think of this as tubas and basses and things like that. This is sort of the mid-range, forget this. Let's go and sparkle up the top. Flutes, piccolos, snowflakes, that sort of thing, something silvery and brilliant. So you can sort of travel, use these containers to travel out of the doldrums and the muddiness, and then just to get the heck out of here and go work up here where it gets seriously kind of interesting, you know. Sort of idea. So this original that's some nice stuff. Or if you don't want to travel like this, just do this. So it sounds like a thunderstorm, you know, coming to, sort of blooming and coming out here. What did I just do? I have no idea. I just picked out some fourth stack, a stack of fourths, and just walked them up, sometimes on blacks, sometimes on whites, which goes to that raising it up and down the step. Same idea. So timbre is important because it conveys another message too. We all know this timbre from Jaws. It's not a note selection, is it? It's about something ominous. Okay. What if John Williams in Jaws had taken the wrong timbre? Same idea. And he went, here comes the shark, right? Kind of comical, a pink kid's balloon maybe, you know, inflatable shark, right? So timbre does convey a lot, and this gets really tiresome. It's you have your thundering and booming, even with the right rhythms. But after a while, let's give it a break, folks. So we do need to kind of, you know, try this. Gives you some contrast. Okay, more on interval containers. We've had two videos to open up rhythms and the fingerings, and sort of now pitch selection and a few rhythms. And next time we'll travel into the really scary stuff where you get into interval containers, which will manufacture melodies that are your own, so you won't sound like McCoy Tyner and Chick Corea unless you want to. But all the other videos on YouTube, everyone just sounds like McCoy Tyner or Chick Corea. It becomes, it's sort of endless. This is to sort of speak your own piece musically. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.